Welcome to the Secrets of the World channel. You are looking at a man who died 3,000 years ago. His skin is still intact. His hair, still there. His face, recognizable. This wasn't luck. This wasn't magic. This was science. Ancient, brutal, and brilliant science. Today, we uncover the real secret behind Egyptian mummification. What they removed, what they kept, and why it took exactly 70 days. To understand mummification, you first have to understand what ancient Egyptians believed about death. When a person died, two forces left the body: the Ka, the life force, and the Ba, the personality. But if the physical body was preserved well enough, these forces could return in the afterlife. Death wasn't an ending, it was a transition, and the body was the vessel for that journey. This is why mummification wasn't just a funeral ritual, it was a passport to immortality. At first, only pharaohs were mummified, but by 2000 BC, anyone who could afford it was preserved. Eventually, even the poor were mummified in mass burial sites called necropolises. So how exactly did they do it? The answer is, with extraordinary precision. The process took 70 days, not 69, not 71, exactly 70. Each phase carefully timed. Day 1 to 3, waiting. First, the body was left for 3 days, then washed with palm wine and river water, a purification ritual. The brain. Then came the part that still shocks modern scientists. A long metal hook was inserted through the nostril, pushed up into the skull, and used to liquefy the brain, which then drained out through the nose. Why? Because ancient Egyptians believed the brain was completely useless. They thought life entered and left the body through the heart. The brain was essentially garbage to them. The organs. Next, an incision was made on the left side of the abdomen. The lungs, stomach, liver, and intestines were removed, but they weren't thrown away. Each organ was placed in a separate jar, called a canopic jar, guarded by a different god. The jackal-headed Duamutef protected the stomach, the human-headed Imseti, the liver, the falcon Kebesenuef, the intestines, and the baboon Hapi, the lungs. The heart? Never removed. It would be needed in the afterlife, weighed against the feather of Maat, the goddess of truth, to judge the soul. Natron, the secret ingredient. Now came the real secret: natron. A naturally occurring salt found in the Natron Valley of northern Egypt. It contained sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate, and traces of salt. A combination that could pull every drop of moisture from a human body. The body was packed inside and out with natron, then left for 40 days. 40 days of slow, complete dehydration. When they came back, the body was dry, preserved, ready. Wrapping. Then came the wrapping. Hundreds of meters of linen bandages. Between each layer, priests placed amulets, jewels, and sacred objects to protect the deceased. Each layer was coated with resin, a thick, aromatic substance that hardened into a protective shell. This resin was called mumaya in Arabic, meaning bitumen or wax. That's where the word mummy comes from. For centuries, the full details of mummification were a mystery, because the Egyptians deliberately kept it secret. This was considered a sacred art, knowledge passed orally from one embalmer to the next. Almost nothing was written down, But recently, archaeologists made an extraordinary discovery. A medical papyrus dating to 1450 BC, known as the Louvre-Carlsberg Papyrus, contained a hidden mummification manual inside a text about skin diseases. It described herbal mixtures cooked into liquids, applied to red linen, then pressed onto the face every 4 days as a preserving, antibacterial coating. And today, researchers use mobile CT scanners to look inside mummies without unwrapping them, revealing hidden amulets, bone structures, and even surprises like a wrapped human foot found inside what was thought to be a bird mummy. Over 3,000 years, ancient Egyptians created an estimated 70 million mummies: humans, cats, dogs, crocodiles, ibises, entire species preserved for the gods. And today, we can read their DNA, scan their bones, reconstruct their faces. They sought immortality for the body. They may not have achieved it in the way they imagined, but in a different sense, they absolutely did. Because we are still talking about them, still studying them, still amazed by them. If you found this fascinating, subscribe, because this is just the beginning. Every week, we uncover the real stories behind the ancient world's greatest mysteries. Would you want to be mummified? Comment below.